Midlife Nerded here, and today I'm going to be giving you my top 3 games recommendations for the rest of 2022.
Stray is an upcoming adventure game developed by Blue 12 Studio and published by Annapurna Interactive. The game is scheduled for release on 19th of July for PS4, PS5 and Windows. Sorry, Xboxers. It will be completely free as part of PlayStation Plus tiers, Extra, Deluxe and Premium. I'm not sure how I feel about the new tiers that make up the extended PlayStation Plus subscription service. It feels like a cash grab by Sony, quelle surprise, but I may invest in the extra tier for a month, specifically for this release. So what is the game about? Well, it follows the story of an unnamed stray cat who falls into a world populated by robots, monsters and viruses, and sets out to return to his family. This is a third-person adventure game that has you explore, platform and puzzle solve your way through a dystopian city. In Stray, you play as the cat, and that was enough when I saw some of the gameplay visuals for me to say, yep, take my money. As part of his travels, he meets a cute drone named B12 who helps him translate the robot language, as well as store and use items found throughout the world. From the gameplay footage, there doesn't seem to be any other cats around, although, with the exception of B12, the robots aren't really bothered by your presence. There are some bigger issues to deal with, such as the alien-esque facehugger type enemies known as the Zurks. Where's Ripley when you need her? Once you find B12, you'll be able to use certain items and defend yourself against the Zurks who attack you in swarms. Apart from using B12 to defend yourself, your only other option is to run or shake them off you when they pounce. There's plenty of robot and cat interaction thanks to B12, and in the trailer you see sheet music being handed to a street performer who whips out a guitar and promptly starts playing it. This all happens whilst your feline protagonist is shown snuggling into a cushion. If there's anything cuter than that, can you please let me know? Stray seems to be a combination of platformer, adventure / puzzle game. The platforming sections look quite basic from the gameplay as you simply press the button to leap. This is to ensure that your Ginger Tom always looks incredibly graceful. The PlayStation and PC's game developer appears to be exploring every aspect of moving through a world as a cat. There's a dedicated meow button, and players can also claw at doors to get the attention of residents of apartment buildings and businesses. The cat can use its mouth to pick up small objects, like a bucket, or its paws to knock things off of ledges. Anyone who's ever owned the little feline rascals will know they just love to do this. There was a huge amount of effort from the developers that went into capturing the perfect motions. Sorry, couldn't help myself. Not all the action is strictly gameplay related either. For example, players can claw at rugs and couches, similar to how they would claw at doors, or they can knock over stacks of books or paint cans at their leisure, traipsing through the mess and leaving colourful paw prints throughout the levels. Stray is launching as a rather unique and fun game amongst a sea of homogenous AAA titles, and I'm super excited to jump in, landing gracefully on my feet when it launches.
So now we travel to the wild, wild west with vampires, demons and other nasties. Yes, really.
The developers, Flying Wild Hog, have a great description on their website, which reads as follows. Evil never sleeps, but it bleeds. A dark menace consumes the American frontier. As Jesse, one of the last agents in a top-secret vampire hunting institute, you are the final line between humanity and a deep-rooted terror that now emerges from the shadows. Rise up to become a Wild West superhero. Eradicate the vampire threat and save the United States. You had me at vampire. This game from the developer Flying Wild Hogs would seem to be like their other titles, where the gameplay is clearly the focus. This is a third-person action game which is semi-linear, and I'm really looking forward to this after ploughing so many hours into a slew of open-world titles recently. You'll have a mixture of melee and range combat options. There's access to guns, lightning-powered gauntlets, and various gadgets to obliterate, eviscerate, and explode enemies. From the gameplay sequences, you could actually be in the termite scene from The Boys. The third-person shooting looks to be pretty standard, although we don't know if ammo will be limited yet, and the melee fighting is especially interesting. Melee combos are fast, showy, and look to have a satisfying amount of heft, impact, and blood splatter. There's some amazing finisher-style moves, a la Doom, which had me giggling as they are as gory as they are stylised. These will vary, not just depending on the weapon, but also the enemy type. Your uppercuts can launch enemies and then be followed up with hammer pistol shots, or you can grab them and slam them into other enemies. Vampire bowling, anyone? Jesse can also do a dodge that temporarily turns him into lightning, and a block or parry move that opens up anything trying to attack. Weapons are the tropey rifle and pistol, but there's also shotguns and what looks like a flamethrower. Burn, demon, burn! A perk system will support you levelling with access to new skills and abilities. Weapon upgrades are also available. This looks tremendous fun, and the gothic horror American West setting is an interesting premise. I'm looking forward to punching some vampires in the face alongside stylish violence that we're always warned will desensitise us and turn us into psychopaths. I think for a little bit of stress relief, with some fun stylish gunplay and a lot of blood, guts and splatter, this will be a winner for me, and I can't recommend it highly enough. And it's out on September the 20th across all platforms. So, from the wild Vampire West, we're off to the Norse lands with Ragnorak God of War. The hype for this game is huge. The original released in 2018 and was one of the best last-gen games, in my opinion. It completely overshadowed Horizon Zero Dawn, which was another last-gen PlayStation exclusive, launching a mere week later. So if you've been living under a rock, Ragnorak God of War is an upcoming action-adventure game developed by Santa Monica Studio and will be published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. It's scheduled to be released worldwide on November 9th, but only for the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. So sorry to Xboxers and also to PC owners. It's loosely based on Norse mythology, set in ancient Scandinavia, and features series protagonists Kratos and his teenage son Atreus. The titular Ragnarok is a series of events that bring about the end of days and depicts the deaths of some of the Norse gods. This was foretold to happen in the previous game after Kratos killed the Aesir god Balder. The hype is incredible, with the physical collector's edition and the Jotnar version of the physical collector's edition selling out in minutes. Scalper's gonna scalp though, and it's now being sold at 3 times the price, listing on eBay for anywhere between £370 and £660. There are unboxing of these items on YouTube gaming channels if you want a better look, and they've garnered huge view accounts with 2.3 million for the official unboxing on PlayStation. You can find the link in the pinned comment below this video for the official unboxing. I personally think the hammer Mjolnir looks a bit plastic and cheap in these sets. I do like the rest of the merch, but is it worth the money? It was supposed to retail at £230, and that sold out in 15 minutes here in the UK. And nah, I don't think so. So what about gameplay? Well, a lot of things are still a huge mystery, but you can expect new weapons and abilities from both Kratos and Atreus to keep the gameplay fresh. Players can expect to visit all 9 realms, as opposed to just the 6 featured in the previous title. Midgard, Alfheim, Muspelheim, Niflheim, Helheim and Jotunheim will all be returning in some way, with Vanaheim, Svartalheim and Asgard now set to join that mix. That is a lot of Heims. Whilst I'm extremely excited about this release, I still have ginormous trust issues. Mass Effect Andromeda and Cyberpunk, I'm looking at you. I'm not sure I'll be a day one. I'm not pre-ordering. I'll wait a few weeks for the reviews to come in to see if it can recapture what the original did so well, which was an emotionally complex narrative, exciting, challenging combat interlaced with humour, all set in a world crafted with a love and care for detail seldom seen in modern video games. Thanks for watching. Those are the top 3 games that I'll be splashing some cash on in the next few months. What do you think? Have I missed any? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget, as always, to like, subscribe and boop the bell thingy.